friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and today we are wrapping up the 2026 reading plans videos with the nonfiction books that I would love to get to in 2026. There's books falling everywhere. Let's talk about it, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna just kind of rapid fire through these because there's quite a few of them, because I was like, oh, I don't have that many nonfiction that I want to read. And then I realized that I do. So we're gonna rapid fire through these. If you have any more questions about them, let me know down in the comments below. But the first one is one that I picked up recently from my book outlet haul. This is Custodians of Wonder by Elliot Stein. This essentially follows someone who's basically looking into the ancient customs, profound traditions, and the last people keeping them alive. So essentially people that are doing a skill that used to be a really popular one back in the day and has essentially died out, from my understanding. So looking at people like the man saving the secret ingredient in Japan's 700-year-old original soy sauce recipe, the rarest type of pasta from the only woman alive who knows how to make it, a 7th generation watchman, Cuba's official cigar set factory, let's see, a bridge, a grass woven bridge. So yeah, I think it's just things that are just really interesting, unique, special, that only a certain very select number of people still know how to do, which I find really, really fascinating, because I do think there's certain skills that unfortunately are so unique and specialized that once they are unable to be passed on to those, or just die with the person that knows how to do them, they die out entirely. So I think it's a really interesting concept, and I'm excited to learn more about it. Next, let's shift over to Douglas Preston's The Lost Tomb and Other Real-Life Stories of Bones, Burials, and Murder. This is a very different vein from the one prior to it, but this essentially follows, I think, the people that opened up a lot of tombs back in the day and kind of the situations they found themselves in. It feels very Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I'm very excited about, and I think it'll be really interesting. So I'm excited. Next, let's talk about a book you guys might have seen on quite a few of my library hauls. This is Dinosaurs at the Dinner Party. I finally just picked it up. I got it off of Book Outlet because I think this one will actually be really good, and I'm kind of excited about it. This is by Edward Dolnick. This essentially follows a group of Victorians who discovered prehistoric creatures and accidentally upended the world. Basically how dinosaurs were discovered and what that discovery did to, I think, all of humanity, and essentially what that discovery ended up leading to with a lot of different things from a science level. I think it's going to be really interesting. First discoveries, foundation of new science of geology. I think it's going to be really cool, really interesting, and I'm excited for it. Next, the weirdest book by far on my shelves, without question, and that is a book that I think I'm gonna love for some reason, because I keep picking it up from the library, and then I saw it on Book Outlet and I was like, I'm just gonna spend money and buy it because then it'll hold me to actually reading it. This is Birds Aren't Real, which is my favorite, I think, conspiracy theory I've ever heard of. And essentially it's the idea that all birds have been murdered and they recreated birds to be surveillance cameras, essentially, for someone, the government, whoever. And I think that concept is hilarious. So I want to learn and see if I can follow the logic of how these two guys essentially came to that understanding, because I think if they can convince me, I think that would be pretty freaking hilarious. So yeah, I think we'll read this one this year. I think it'll be pretty funny. And yeah, if you know anything about bird conspiracies, let me know. Okay. Next, let's talk about one of my favorite nonfiction authors of all time. I've read quite a few of her books. This is Mary Roach, and these are a couple of her backlists that I'd love to get to this year, because I'm now quite a few behind from her. She's been popping them out the last couple of years, which has been great. This is Packing for Mars, The Curious Science of Life in the Void. And I think this essentially follows, space travel, life without gravity, from space shuttle training toilet to the crash test of NASA's new space capsule. She takes on an interesting take of pretty much just a really unique topic and makes it really digestible, really interesting, and I really love her stuff. So I'm excited for this one. Then I also have Spook by her. This is science tackling the afterlife and all that comes with it. What happens when you die? In an attempt to find out, she brings her curiosity to scientists, schemers, engineers, and mediums, all trying to prove that life goes on after we die. I think this one's going to be really interesting. And then we have Grunt, which looks at the curious science of humans at war. This one I think will probably be interesting because I do know a few people that have gone through life in the military, and I'm not sure what stance she takes on this. Okay, how do combat medics cope is a chapter of one title. The next one, let's see, what's another one that she speaks on? Below the belt, the cruelest shot of all. Amputees wear shorts. Okay, I don't know. Again, her topics are very vague, not vague, very wide in its span. She does a lot of really in-depth, really interesting research, and she does a really interesting take on a lot of these topics as well. So I'm excited to get to this one. Next, let's talk about The Secret History of Our Food by Matt Siegel. This essentially is something I was really interested in picking up because this essentially talks about the strange but true stories of the origins of everything we eat. I think this is going to be a little bit like, what's that one on the McDonald's one that they kind of figured out the food wasn't really food? Yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting. It's probably going to force me to reevaluate some of the stuff that I'm putting in my body, which is kind of why I want to read it. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good one and a very interesting one as well. Next, let's talk about one of my favorite women that has ever existed on this planet. This is It's Up to Us Women, or Up to the Women by Eleanor Roosevelt. This is one of my favorite political figures that I think has ever, just women that have ever existed in the course of history. I'm so inspired by Eleanor Roosevelt. I think she's so interesting. And I think this essentially follows a speech that she gave. Oh, what's the context of this? I think this is either a book she wrote or a speech. I think it's a book. Okay, yeah, I think it's a book that she wrote, and there's a foreword about it. So to be honest, I don't know too much about it, but I wanted to read some books from Eleanor Roosevelt for quite some time, and I think this one's going to be very interesting. Okay, next we'll talk about The Secret Lives of Hidden Places, Concealed Rooms, Clandestine Passageways, and the Curious Minds That Made Them by Stefan Brockman. This, I think, essentially follows a wondrous guide for the curious and intrepid that takes readers through the most lushly photographed and lyrically written tour of 18 of the world's most captivating architectural mysteries. Delve into both the secretive places themselves and the eccentric and obsessive minds that created them. Explore a chamber of skulls high in the Swiss Alps, a Japanese temple full of traps, a Parisian apartment locked and untouched since World War II, a Prohibition-era speakeasy in Washington, D.C., and a spooky initiation well in Portugal built by a secret society. How far down will you climb before you lose your nerve? Fascinating, and I'm obsessed. And I think this one's just going to be really, really cool. The pictures seem great. I think this is going to be good. Okay, next, let's finish it out with two nonfiction biographies that I think are going to be really good. This is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey and Cher's Memoir, Volume 1. These are both two people that I'm very interested in. I love Matthew McConaughey just as an actor. I think his books will be really interesting because it's supposedly taken from his diaries throughout the years of his life. He's been journaling, I think, since he was a teenager, from what I remember seeing him talk about. It's got pictures. It just seems really cool, and I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good one, so I'm excited for that. And the last one is, of course, Cher. She is so iconic. I love her music. My mom was obsessed with her when we were growing up. Child of the 80s music, loved all of that. And I really don't know too much about her. I remember hearing about Sonny and Cher. I know she's so iconic and such a legend, but I think to really delve into and learn more about her life growing up. And I think, again, this is a part 1, so I don't know what the timeline is for this one, but I think this one just seems really interesting, and she's, again, so iconic that I'm excited to see what it's all about. So yeah, hopefully you guys, oh my gosh, you guys, if you could see my floor right now, there's just books everywhere. But yeah, there you have it, you guys. Those are some of the books that I'm hoping to get to in 2025 from a nonfiction point of view. And I think with that, that wraps up all of my stuff that I was hoping to show you guys that I'm trying to get to in 2026. I think it's going to be a great reading year. I'm very excited. But if you guys have any other recommendations, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!